Hi, it's Emily, or Emmy Rose 22A, and I am back with episode 7 of the Crafty Accountability Podcast. Today is Saturday, March 30th, 2019. I can't believe March is almost over. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. Been a few different reasons for that. 2 weeks ago was the Saturday after my birthday, and I was off, I guess, because of my birthday. I don't know if that's exactly it. I was initially excited to go for my birthday haul, and then I felt like it was extravagant and like I might be judged for how much I got for my birthday. And I think that kind of put me off from wanting to record. But now I figure, whatever. If you're going to judge me, judge me. I can't control that. I can control what I can control. And I want to share what I got. I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm thrilled with what I got. My boyfriend completely spoiled me. My family spoiled me. So it was an awesome, amazing birthday. So why shouldn't I share it with you guys? And if you don't like it, it'll be at the end. Don't watch. I guess that's it. Last weekend I had a migraine, so I was unable to record because of that. So I am back at it this week. I decided that I was definitely going to make it a priority this week to get it done. I want to get back to it. I have a lot going on right now, just in general and especially crafty wise. So I wanted to talk about it and share it with you guys, share my journey. Today's essential oils that I would like to talk about, I have two. The first one it's from doTERRA's emotional aromatherapy line. It's called Motivate. It is the encouraging blend, as you can see, and that its name kind of says it all. It is to motivate, encourage, and I kind of felt like I needed that this week. I love the emotional aromatherapy line that doTERRA has. They have three happy blends: cheer, motivate, and passion. Which passion isn't just like, ooh, lovey, lovey passion. It's a very like uplifting and to get you passionate about things again. So, that one's my favorite. It's got jasmine in it. Jasmine's one of my favorite oils. And then it's got the three, I consider them like sad blends: peace, console, and forgive. And we need those at times too. And they kind of go along with, their names kind of indicate what they're for. But in light of having not recorded for 2 weeks, and it's one of those, maybe I should just stop. But it's something I want to do. So let's get motivated, get our booty back in gear, and get back on it. The other one I really wanted to share with you today is Roman chamomile. And this chamomile has great skin properties, topical properties. It's great for blemishes, owies, rashes, things like that. But a use I was not familiar with is it has numbing properties. We have been putting this on my daughter's gums. She's teething. She's getting her bottom molars, 1-year molars in. And it's been a bear. She's been fairly good about teething thus far. She has all 8 of her incisors. And a couple of the bottom ones were a little rough, but like one day of fussiness and then it breaks through. Her top molars were 2 or 3 days of fussiness. We've been since Sunday that we've been having rough emotional mood swings. It just has to hurt, and she gets pushed to the edge and just doesn't know how to express herself or handle herself. And the Roman chamomile really helps quite a bit. We're still using Motrin occasionally if it gets to be too much, but this calms her down almost instantly. It tastes very earthy and like you're chewing on a flower, but she doesn't mind the taste. She doesn't make an ugly face. She sucks it around, and she knows that it's gotta help because she's okay with us putting it in her mouth. She gets a little meh, but then once you get your finger in there, she lets you do it. So I just want to share that with you. I love that it's a natural. I don't have to worry that I'm putting like chemicals like Ambisol or anything in her mouth, and I can reapply it as often as I need to because it is a natural oil. So I just wanted to share those two with you. Those are two that I've been working with and Really liking the past few weeks. Okay. My notes are very jumbled, so I'm really hoping we can keep on track somewhat with this. So for Yarny Goodness, I have 2 finished objects, and they're small, and they were finished 2 weeks ago. That's fine. These are cotton candy slouch hats that I am making for our local cancer center. So these are to donate. I have that one and I have this one. So I finished 2 of them for my March finishes. I still wanted to get 2 more done, and they're on my list to get done. I'll discuss why they're not done in a bit. But other things have come up, so they might be a little bit on hold. And that's fine. I've got the yarn. It's not a huge hurry or deal. So these are out of Michael's Loops and Thread Charisma in Chocolate Cupcake and Sunny Day. And I have more of both of these, so I think my next one, I've already got a ball of this in the bag. And then I can make a couple more out of this one as well. So, and then I have my electric blue, my turquoise color. So those are my only 2 fully finished objects. I have been working a lot the past couple weeks, or few weeks, I guess. But that's all I have finished, like fully finished. I do have a partial finish, which kind of jumped in the way of getting my hats done. And this is, the ends aren't woven in at all, and there are a lot of them. Let's see, I want to show you at least the right side so you're not seeing all the ends. I've got to back up. It's a big one. And the light is like blowing out my color. I don't know if it's better if I'm in it. It kind of brings it back a little. This is the Winter Hold shawl by Hannah Sigmund. Oh, and those hats, the cotton candy slouch hats, are by Hannah Sigmund of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. And this is also a pattern by the Cozy Cottage Crochet. Sorry, now I've got to get my chair all centered back up again. And this is also out of the Michael's Loops and Thread Charisma in Northern Light and Electric Blue. I followed the pattern. I'm testing the pattern for her. When I saw this pattern on her podcast, the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast, I knew I had the yarn and I knew I wanted it. I've tested for her before. I tested for the cotton candy slouch hat, and I was either going to test this pattern when it came out, or when she called for testers, or I would buy it when it came out and make it, because like I said, I had a need for it and I had the yarn for it. So the yarn I used is the Millens, so they're seconds. So it started out a lot darker, like it's got dark overtones on all the colors, as opposed to, you can see them at the bottom, but oh, here's even my hat that's in the same colorways is much, like the colors are much brighter. These are much darker and more subdued. And I didn't realize that 2 of the skeins had a lot of the purple on the outside. I assumed the middles were going to be more of the color, but here's those 2 skeins. Almost all purple. You can see a little bit of the color, and I don't care. It's kind of a design element. It's totally fine. And then this last skein is again the brighter colors. And the pattern ends right here. I didn't have enough to do my last row in the main color, so I just stuck with my electric blue, and then I wanted it a little bit longer, so I added 6. I added 6 more rows in just the stitch pattern of the electric blue, because I had a bunch left over. So, and like I said, I wanted it a little bigger. So my purpose for this shawl is a couch shawl. Like watching TV, I get chilly. I don't want a full blanket. I don't want something like up over my legs. I want something up over my arms and to like snuggle with. And this completely fits that bill. It comes down most of my arms, and if I leave it down like that, it kind of makes like little sleeves. So when I'm chilly, I can be all wrapped up on the couch. So that's where this is going to live, on the back of the couch. So when I'm chilly and I just want to grab something, I can just grab it. And if I'm like colder up top, I can wrap it around, but I can still have my arms free to knit or crochet or whatever, like I tend to do on the couch. And this is perfect. It is so snuggly. It's nice and big. I love the stitch that was used. It was a new to me stitch, and it was it takes you a little bit to get in the groove of it, but once you do, it's so like easy and just repetitive, I guess. Once you figure out the increase, like learn the increases, I completely had it memorized. I just had to count for where my contrast rows went, and it was like a fairly brainless quick. I knit this in, or crocheted this in 1 week, so it went very quickly. I'm very excited to have it done, but this is kind of why my Cancer hats took a back seat, because I really wanted to be able to test this for her, because I was, like I said, I was very excited for the pattern, and I had the yarn for it, so I figured why not. It's a big old like triangle blanket basically, but I can't always get my blankets up over my shoulders like I like, and so I knew I've been wanting for a while back of the couch shawl. And so, like I said, when I saw that pattern, when I saw her show hers on, before hers was even finished, I think she was waiting for more yarn for it. And I was like, I would like to test that pattern. I would like to make that pattern. And all of that yarn came out of my stash. So that's thrilling for me, at least. That's over 700 grams of yarn. So 8 skeins, I think, about, that came out of my stash. So that's a nice little chunk out of one of my cubbies. So it's basically a finished object. I don't know that I'm going to show it again, because it's just going to have the ends woven in. I'm really not going to block it. I got the measurements that she was looking for. I measured it where the pattern stopped, and I didn't need to block or anything to get it to stretch. And it's 100% acrylic, so it really wouldn't block a whole lot anyway. But where it's just supposed to be basically a blanket, I just need to weave the ends in. So I will let you know that I get that done to keep me accountable for that, but I don't know that I'll show it again. It's done, it's finished. I might mention it again when she actually releases the pattern, so I can actually link you to the pattern. I can link you to her pattern store on Ravelry and her podcast, but yeah, once she releases it, I'll let you know. So I'm really excited to have that I got that done so quickly. My next work in progress, which is close to being done but is getting set aside for priority knitting, is my Changing Staircases shell by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Designs. And you guys, I made serious progress on this, and if I had kept going on it, it would be finished, and it would have been finished when I wanted it finished. But this is just a fun knit. This doesn't really have a purpose. I had started it hoping it might go with my dress, but it doesn't. It's not what I want for my dress shawl. So it just became a fun, pretty knit. Just a shawl that, I mean, I love it, and I'm thrilled that I'm gonna have it. Where I'm at right now, I didn't mark where I was last time, like I should have, like a good podcaster would, but that's fine. This lace section should be my last lace section, according to the pattern this is. But I have enough yarn left that I can get another stockinette and another lace section out of it. And I figured, why not use as much yarn as possible? Bigger is better, I guess. It's not a huge shawl anyway, so not that it would be too small if I finished where the pattern was, but since I have the extra yarn, I'm keep going. So I've just been weighing my yarn. I weighed it for this stockinette section, this lace section, this stockinette, and then this lace section. So I need to weigh it again to verify, but I'm pretty sure I have enough based on what these three have weighed. I have plenty to do another 2 sections and then do the bind off. So that's really close to being finished. But like I said, I have some deadline obligation knits projects that I'm popping in front of this. I'm not going to forget about it. I'm not going to send it off to UFO land to find in 5 years and finish then. It will be before that. It is on my list. It's on my radar. It's just, I've got other things that I want to get done earlier than that. Let's see. Oh, and that yarn was Dragon Horde yarn on our fairy sock base in the Tarot colorway. I really want to have that done for Great Basin Fiber Fair, at least, which is May, like 10th-ish. It's Mother's Day weekend. So they're vending there again. That's where I bought that yarn last year. And they're vending again. So I'd really like to wear it so that, kind of like represent what I don't know. I just think it would be fun to go and say hi to the designer and dyer and be wearing her thing. Like, that's got to be one of the big thrills of designing things, is seeing people wearing your things and loving your things. So, and it's her design, her yarn. I need it for that. So I guess it does have a deadline, but that's not until the middle of May. So I have other deadlines. And if it didn't get done, it wouldn't break my heart. I have more pressing deadlines than that. My next work in progress is actually a brand new one. I just started this yesterday. Let me unfold. This is another In the Round hat. That was from a Joanne class that I did a sample for. I guess I never taught it. And this is out of Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick in the pumpkin and oatmeal colorways. And this is for somebody my boyfriend works with. Her favorite colors are orange and oatmeal. So, and I made her a crochet hat, one of the cotton candy slouch beanies, and she loved it. And I really wanted to make her one of these hats in these colors. I was kind of waiting to get my pattern figured out. So we'll see how this one fits. I'm hoping it'll fit. I added 4 more stitches because the last one was still a little snug, so I figure the 4 stitches should help. I guess we'll find out. I should be done with this by the weekend, so you should be able to see this. You may only see pictures next week. We're getting, kind of to the end of spring. We did get snow yesterday. So I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I need to get her hat done because we may be getting out of the snowy weather. Although, I do have to say, my daffodils have not bloomed yet. And historically, the weather waits till my daffodils bloom, and then it snows on them, so it kills the flowers. So, we should have one more snowstorm coming, if Mother Nature's vengeance is any indicator. My next work in progress, it's at my feet. I was like, where did it go? Is another new project. We have 4 babies coming. May, July, August, and September. Our friends' babies, not. I'm hoping that's obviously not my baby, but our friends' babies. So that I want to do. Those are babies that I want to do something for. So for the first one, they're having a girl. They have a little boy now, and they're having a girl. So I wanted to make them an Afghan. And I had started the Rick Rack Rainbow Afghan. It's a free pattern by Red Heart. I've seen that pattern several times. I loved it. I've really wanted to make it. A friend gave me some yarn that she didn't want anymore, and I started that blanket. I don't like doing it. It's a zigzag, which is not a problem, but it's single crochet in the back loop only. And it was just slow and tedious, and the back loops stretch out. It wasn't my favorite to work on. And I had put it away for a while, and I was like, I'll finish that blanket for them. And I just didn't like it. And I thought, I don't want to work on this. It's not making me happy. I'm pulling it out. So I pulled it out. And I wanted to use that yarn because it's cute girl yarn. So I have barely any of it put together, but this pattern is the Starburst Flower Blanket by, I'm going to say it's Rochelle Carmona, might be Rachel. It's got an E at the end, so it seems to me like that should be Rochelle. of Cypress Textiles, and I just found the pattern online, and it's these cute. This is borrowed from another pattern. She links to it on her website, which I will link below. And then she uses, it's called continuous join as you go. So you have all your motifs done, and then you join them together continuously, which I am notorious for. I love making motifs. I love the look of motif, like granny square blankets. I am horrible at putting these together. I have 3 of them back behind me that need to be put together. Only three? I think only 3 now. I'm awesome at making the motifs. I'm awful at putting them together. So, and I don't like the whole sewing thing. That drives me nuts. Trying to match up to single crochet or slip stitch them together, not my favorite. So the fact that this is a continuous, I think I started here. Yes, I did. Oh, and all the ends you have to weave in when you sew them together. Ugh. Drives me crazy. So this one, I started here. You go here, back over here, back over here, back over here, back over, down here, back over. So this is my top row. And these are the colors that I'm using. It's Lion Brand Pound of Love in white, lavender, bubblegum, and turquoise. So it's going to be, I think it's 9 across and 10 down is the dimensions I decided I wanted to do. So I'm working on getting the motifs done now. I had to join a few of them to see how it was going to look and work. And so I'm now working on just the motifs. But I also love one of her things. The Join As You Go is from, I want to say she links it to YouTube. I think it's called Crochet Cabana. They have a YouTube site where she talks about this whole continuous join as you go. It's kind of her concept. Like I said, I'll link you to this pattern. It links to all the others. The other patterns she used. But one of the things she does that's a little different is, you guys can see this, your joins over here twist. And I think that's really cute. That they twist, and there's a fun twist that you do with the corners to get them to join when I come back around to join the next row on. So I guess technically it goes this way because this is the top. You do the border. I think you do the border last. I'm not positive. I watched enough to be able to get the first row hooked together to start hooking them together. This is for the May Baby. I have a list, a big long list of things that I want to make, projects I would like to do. And so, and I want to work on all of them right now. But I had to rein myself in a little bit and realize that some of these have deadlines. Some of them don't. Like the Changing Staircases shawl does not have a deadline. I don't need that for anything specific. So I don't need to be working on that right now. This baby's due in May, so I would like to get this in the mail to them by May 1st. So they can have it when the baby comes. I'm not positive the exact due date. All of these people having babies? Yes, they are. I mean, they're our friends, but they're my boyfriend's friends. So, he's not the best at finding out exact due dates. So I'm happy with a month. That's better than I sometimes get. He doesn't always think to ask. It's the first thing I'm like, oh, what are they due? What are they having? He's like, I don't know. I didn't ask. So I would like to have this one done by May 1st so we can get it sent to them. So what I did, a couple things that I kind of did. I'm using my little notebook that I made for my crafty things. And I just think this is kind of fun. It's kind of like borrowing from a bullet journal type style. I made a little chart with the colors, so I knew my layout, and I've got these 4 X'd out because they are already joined into the blanket. And I figured out, not that I really had to figure it out, it was 9 by 10, which is 90. I have 3 colors. I do need 30 of each, but I have a little chart over here so that I can keep track of how many of each I've done. And then I made a little calendar. I figured out how many, like when I wanted it, like I want to send it May 1st. So, I kind of figured out if I do 4 a day, I'll have the motifs done by April 10th. I guess actually my ideal shipping date would be April 15th so that they can get it and have it before May. But that was to give me a little bit of leeway. So I set it up. If I did 4 flowers of the middle motifs per day, I could get them done by April 10th. And then I would just need to weave in my ends. None of the motifs have the ends woven in yet, so I need to weave those. I would like to weave those in before I join everything together, because it's a little easier to join on a little motif than a big Afghan. With that continuous join as you go, it's just like I have the beginning end, I'll have the end, 2 ends to weave in, which is ideal to me. I am not the biggest fan of weaving in ends, and it will put me off on things. So that's my shawl needs its ends woven in. It's sitting on the back of the couch to get the ends woven in, and I have not used it yet, but my niece used it, so I need to make sure I'm not just using it with the ends all hanging out wonky. Like, let's finish it, make it a pretty finished thing. Anyway, that'll get my squares done by April 10th, so I don't know if you guys can fully see, but I make like little check marks as I finish them throughout the day. I have the skein of yarn, the big skein of yarn, in one bag. It's in a tote bag, and that's where I keep those. And then I pull out my notebook and I transfer it to the other bag with the joining color and the other motifs. I tick off my 4, I put my 4 in, I X off my day. I'm a little behind because I got sick, and with my migraines I can't, anyway, I have to lay down in bed all day long, and so it's really hard to crochet when you're flat on your back. So I don't get much done. It's kind of frustrating, but that's fine. Anyway, so I just kind of set this up, so I've been checking things off as I go. And also for my winter hold shawl, I kind of set up the same thing. I put my yarn information. I set me up a little calendar with a percentage of how far I wanted to get done on it, to get it done by the deadline. She needed it by April 5th. I'm finished, so I need to email her my information. I weighed it and measured it and everything when I got to the finishing point, and then I added my extra. So I want to add the extras to keep on Ravelry, but anyway, so to try to keep myself organized, I made a list of all the projects I would like to do. And it's kind of funny because I had written up some show notes for last time, and I had on the horizon, I had 3 projects, and I have crossed all 3 of those off because they are not immediate on the horizon. When I went through my list and I said, oh, because one of them was a baby Afghan we bought yarn for. That's for the July baby. I don't need to finish the July babies right now, even though I want to work on it. I don't need to finish the July babies Afghan. I don't need to finish the Afghan that's just for, well, not just for my boyfriend. He's super important and deserves an Afghan more than any of the babies, but he doesn't have a due date. So I might try to finish his for Christmas. We'll kind of see. The next 2 months I have so much going on that it's really hard to judge right now. Anyway, so I went through and I wrote down everything I want to do, and I put in due dates for them, and that's kind of how I came up with these little calendars. Like this blanket I would like to get sent before May. That shawl I needed to have done by April 5th. That way I can prioritize those first, because I found, we're going to talk about this, I'm sorry, I told you I was going to be all over the place. I think that's all of my works in progress. Yes, that's everything I've started. So we're kind of talking about what's next already, hence my list. I found the yarn for Tabitha's Easter dress. Oh, here it is. It's Wonderland Yarns on her Cheshire Cat base, which is 100% superwash merino. I'm fingering weight. The line, I guess, is Down the Rabbit Hole, and this is Handsome Pig. It's a beautiful gradient. And I had told you I want to make the Mutie dress out of it for her Easter dress. So, I wanted to show you guys the yarn because I think it's so cute and it's a little gradient. So these are, what are there? Are there 6 of them? 5? 5 colors? Yes, 5 colors. And they're individual skeins. So you have the 5 different colors. So I want to do a fade. I want it to go light to dark from top to bottom. So I haven't wound it up or anything, and I actually haven't looked at the pattern yet either to figure out exactly how I'm going to fade it. Just from picking it up today, and my kind of initial look is I think it would be cute to have the whole bodice in one color, do the band in the next, and then have the next 3 kind of fade through the skirt, with these being the darkest color. So it would kind of split the skirt into thirds. So there would be one color here that fades into that one that goes to that one. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in my head. I don't know how much yarn this is even calls for, but I mean, I have way more than I need because this is 640 yards. So each skein is 128 yards. Oh, they're 1 ounces. So I have 5 ounces instead of the normal, 100 grams is 3.5 ounces. So it's more yarn than I'm sure I need for this pattern. So I just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do the color changes. And I believe I'll be winding that up and casting that on either today or tomorrow. We're going bowling with my family this evening, and I'm excited for that. So it may not happen tonight, but it will be getting cast on promptly because I want that for Easter, which is April 21st. I would also like to crochet that bunny for Tabitha for Easter out of that my leftover velvet yarn. I'm not even positive what the pattern is right now off the top of my head. I have it on my Ravelry, so I will, if I get that started, I'll talk about that next week. So I have the baby blanket and those 2 things that are kind of on my super close horizon. My next horizon is that we are getting married. My boyfriend and I are getting married in May. We've been together 11 and a half years. We own our home together. We have a baby. We're basically married, but we're going to make it official this spring. So that dark purple fabric I had showed you when I got the pattern for, that is for my wedding dress. So I need to get that started. I believe tomorrow at my mom's I'm going to start working on a muslin for the bodice. I want to make sure my sizing's wonky. And it's different than I have been since I made the last dress I made for myself. So I kind of want to make a muslin and see what exactly I need to do, because I'm bigger around in the waist, but I'm still as small as I've ever been in my chest. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to make some small bust adjustments for the bust of that. So I really want to use some not special fabric and just make a muslin and figure out what we need to do to change it before I start on the actual dress. So I need to have my dress done by May 18th. That is the wedding day. And obviously I won't say I can't be finishing it on the 18th, but I don't want to be finishing it on the 18th. And the other thing I really would like to finish is I would like to have a shawl to go over it. It's a halter top, so it's strapless. My sister got married on May 17th, 11 or 12 years ago. And it was a hot day. But who knows what this year's going to bring. We did push it till closer to the end of the month because apparently May is the wettest month in the state of Utah. And the first 2 weekends have had in the past, 5 or 10 years, however far back my boyfriend looked, have had a higher than average percentage, chance of rain. And for this year, they both have over 50% projected chance of rain. And the 18th does not. So that's why we chose that date, because we are going to have the wedding in my parents' backyard. We're going fairly low key. We're not going to have a wedding party or anything like that. We don't want to, but we just really want to have a big party to celebrate us and I don't know. We've been a family, but I don't know. It's different to me, I guess. It's not to him. He's happy with how we are and whatever, because we basically are married. I mean, like I said, we live together, we have a house, we have a kid. What else do married people do? So anyway, I'm looking forward to the big party. So it should be a lot of fun. We've kind of already started on decorations and stuff. So next up, I just need to get my attire ready. And we might be making a dress for my baby. But I believe, really hoping that my mom's going to do that for me. so I can focus on mine. And the shawl I'm knitting is, it's the Impressionist shawl by Curious Handmade. Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. Oh my goodness, I obviously blanked a little there. And I will show you the yarn for that in a minute. I got that for my birthday. So I'd really like to get that finished, but it's a nice big half crescent, half circle shawl, half pie shawl. I'm not sure if that's technically what it like calls itself or not, but anyway, so those are two big deadlines that I have that are for May. So I need to get my April stuff done, then I can get my May stuff done, and then the next baby's not till June, so I have, or till July, I guess. So I have some time after the wedding to focus on the rest of my baby stuff. Like I said, it's July, August, and September are the next 3 babies. So I need to get to Easter and then get to the wedding, and then I can focus on other things. So that's kind of where I'm at for my future projects right now. I do believe, like coming up, I do have a couple of the blanket squares, the block of the month squares that I need to make for Joanne's for samples for their open house. And sorry, I'm looking at my list. There's a hat I'd like to make for Tabitha for Easter. It's a cute little lammy that I bought the yarn for before she was born, I think. So I'd like to get that made, but doesn't have to happen this year. It can wait and happen next year. That's fine. Oh, my quilt binding. I did not get my quilt binding done. I did get one more side done. So I kind of ran into the problem that it's dark red minky fabric with black binding and black thread, and it's kind of hard to see at night after we put Tabitha to bed. So I need to focus more on that during the day when I have the daylight to do it. And I have been pushing myself to actually pull it out and work on it during the day. So that's how I got the one side done. Not that I've had other things that I've wanted to do, and I was sick for 5 days. So it's one of the most frustrating things about these new migraines, headaches, whatever they are that I get, that it lays me out and I am like non-functional for multiple days, and I just lose those days. And then I spend 2 or 3 days catching back up with all the house stuff and whatnot that should have been done while I was down, that doesn't get done because people are taking care of my baby instead of my house, which is 100% great with me. I have a great support system and I get tons of help, so I'm extremely grateful for that. It's just, then you have to catch up, so it's like a whole week was just like chewed up with nothing, which is frustrating when you have things you want to do. So those are my current deadline projects. I have other projects on my list that don't have deadlines, so they're kind of, again, after the wedding or after I finish the wedding stuff, my dress, my shawl, my Easter stuff. So now we are going to get on to the birthday haul. So if you're not interested in any of this, like seeing all my new beautiful yarn, that's fine. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I will be back next week with more progress on all of my projects. And I hope you'll come back and join me. If you're excited to see what I got, then stick around.